I think lots of Knowle West is changing. I think it's just important to notice the things that happen and the things that bring us together, and yeah, to share those stories.
And I know that Redcliffe is changing big time, and I think the good thing about having this storytelling project is people won't be left behind.
So for me, the Sharing Stories project is about taking stories from local people from Filwood, Knowle West, Bedminster and Redcliffe, and channeling that and making like an exhibition. The local people, their voices are kind of being drowned out a little bit. So it's nice for them to be like brought back into the light and for people to just really understand what it's like to be a Bristolian.
Sharing Stories is a really lovely collaboration project between Bristol Libraries and the Culture Department in Bristol City Council.
And also working with some community partners, so ACTA Community Theatre, Filwood Community Centre and Knowle West Media Centre.
We were able to think through how can we work better together to attract people into high streets and particularly into the libraries in Filwood and Bedminster.
For the museum service, we wanted to reach members of the community that we weren't able to reach ordinarily. And we also wanted to learn more about the stories that people held and how those stories might inform parts of our permanent collection, particularly at Shed.
So a community connector is a local member of the community that's going around to all different locations to collect stories for their Sharing Stories project.
My son was a skater for years, and it kind of was the making of him, and being a dad, watching that happen, kind of realised that actually it was the community around him and the support helped him find himself. So I wanted to raise their story and their voice.
I've spent a lot of time connecting with the local community. We spoke to a lady who was involved in building the pig enclosure at the farm, and then we heard a story that the pig escaped one day and was roaming around Bedminster, and the gentleman that called the police to tell them about the pig, his surname happened to be Bacon or Ham, so the police didn't believe them.
Community Theatre are doing part of the project. Amber and myself have been collecting stories around Knowle West for the past couple of months, and now the design phase will be a group of young people that are working with Knowle West Media Centre and The Factory, and they're going to be fabricating an exhibition that's going to be displayed at the Filwood Library.
We can load some of the audio on that's been recorded and then design an interesting way for people to interact with it.
So really throughout the design process we're looking to find a way to share the stories that represented them and was connected to the meanings of where those stories came from. I guess it opens up so much that it's nice in a way to leave for people to interpret in their way. That was a really important thing in the design process, so having the exchange between community connectors and the group of emerging designers meant that we could really get a sense of what were the kind of stories and what was the meaning behind the stories, and we could kind of carry this through the design process.
We've been reading through the stories and then doing little prototypes, writing up ideas, like testing things out here and there, seeing how we would display it, how we could make it fit into the story, without being intrusive. I just love the idea of like listening to people's stories and like collecting them and then like turning it into something like big that everyone else can see. So I think for me, I just like to share things like with other people. I think it's a really fun and playful exhibition in many ways. There's a lot of interactive things, a lot of things that have been made physical in some way, and I think this was really a testament to the work of the designers and also the exchange with the community connectors.
I hope that people that have been generous enough to share their stories with us come and feel really well represented and feel proud, and I really hope that it hits all the points of what we're supposed to do and encourage people into the local libraries, because they're such a fantastic resource and we're still lucky to have them and it's so important. So I hope that people will be able to pick out different stories. They might be able to see some touch related things, so things they can fiddle about with, maybe some audio stories, so
You'll probably see a couple of headphone sets around, so if you just want to pick those up and have a listen, and it will be the local people kind of telling their stories to you, like you can listen as if you were in a conversation with them.
So the project has helped us think about how we produce our own displays, and in particular how the stories of communities might be at the heart of that. And that's particularly true of the way that we begin to rethink some of the work that we're doing at MShed.
It's allowed us to reach out and talk to people in a different way, and libraries are repositories of stories. You know, that's what we keep, and that's what we're really passionate about, and that's what we want to give to people. But actually working with community organisations and people that live in the community activates all of the wealth of information that we have in libraries. So it's been really fun, and we would like to do it again.
Sometimes people are just doing things blindly, like volunteering. I've heard some volunteering stories and all sorts of stuff, but they don't actually realise how much power they have. So I think it's lovely for them to actually hear their own story as well.